What is up? This is Colonial Puppet, and this is part one of a new series I'm working on. Well, not really a series, just updates on the main project I'm working on in Minecraft, which is the Cyberpunk city, that I haven't come up with a name for yet. But yeah, this is going to be eating up a lot of my time. This is going to be replacing the Titan City build that I've been working on for the past 5 years. This is what I'm going to be focusing on now, kind of putting Titan City on the shelf for a little bit, and really kind of diving into this new project. Another city, but this time in a kind of dystopic, future noir, cyberpunk setting, and kind of giving it that sci-fi aesthetic. As you can see, it's pretty bare bones right now, not a lot of detail, just buildings and roads. For those of you who are fans of Blade Runner, Deus Ex, and other kind of IPs that take place in cyberpunk universes, you might notice that it's lacking the kind of claustrophobic, dirty, kind of gritty detail of like the roads. Like there's no kiosks, there's no futuristic street signs, there's no billboards or advertisements bombarding you everywhere you go. Those are coming. I haven't really worked on those yet. I'm kind of laying out the basic, I guess, floor plan or city plan of where I'm putting the buildings. This city is going to be aligned with chunks. So, for those of you who don't know, Minecraft loads, like generates the world in chunk by chunk, like 16 by 16 by 16 block pieces. So these buildings and the roads are all kind of are divisible by 16, so everything kind of fits together in a like a puzzle almost, which doesn't really mean anything if you just want to play on this map. However, if you want to do renders like in Chunky and you want to load that, you like select chunks in that, so you won't be like cutting buildings down the middle. If you want to load a certain part of the area, you'll be able to load or like render each building individually, because they'll all be part of their own section of chunks. But yeah, anyway, so that's one thing that I'm doing different as opposed to Titan City. But yep, going to be putting, in terms of detail, like I said, street signs, kiosks, advertisements. I'm also putting an above ground rail again. One thing that's different about this city, as opposed to Titan City, is that there is actual space like underneath. This isn't a default like flatland type of map. There's actually like 20 or something blocks of like buildable area, I guess you can say, underneath here. If you actually break through, you can see there's a underground rail system. I thought I'd put that in. So there's going to be an underground kind of life to this city as well as just what you see on top, which again, Titan City was lacking that because it was on the like 3 block tall super flat land, not a lot of tunneling space. It's also on a map that actually has some form of terrain. It's still very flat, but it has this nice simple river system running through it and some mountains on either side. So a little more interesting in terms of terrain. But yeah, anyway, you've probably seen this building and this building. This building I did a Let's Build on. One thing that's different are these like little buttresses that are kind of jutting out of the sides. Again, that has to do with the fact that I had to fill up a certain amount of space to fill up the amount of chunks that I wanted to for this building. Instead of leaving a bunch of space, I want to give this a claustrophobic cyberpunk feel, so I just built out the building a little more, kind of gave it this interesting membrane area. Again, I'm putting all these frames on all the buildings. If you've seen my video on this video, you might not have seen this. That's because it wasn't there. This is where billboards and advertisements are going to be hanging off of. Same with over here and over there. So yep, I'm kind of planning on the details. Haven't put them in yet, but I have plans for them. You might also notice I haven't done anything on these buildings yet. They're twin buildings. So this one's labeled 3, this one's labeled 2. I mentioned in my video on this building that I left these little openings to eventually put in pedestrian walkways to like lesser buildings to kind of make this into a complex, which obviously is what I did. These are like two, like again, this is like a central like civic building, so I want to make it as kind of big as possible. I'll just quick do a tour of this building, which is the same as that building pretty much on the inside and out, minus the 3. And again, that might change. I might put some differences in one of these buildings to kind of change things up and not make it look like a copy-paste job. This is the roof. Kind of has this cool like looking area. Do like a pan around. Has train track running on the side again for like window washing equipment and whatnot. A lot of tall buildings have rails like running around their perimeter. It's a pretty simple building. Kind of sad looking, gray, like not too big windows. Just kind of your standard sci-fi looking building. Kind of cool. This is where like the window washing equipment would park after washing the sides of the building. This is just kind of like a walking area with safety glass and everything. Nothing too special about the floors. Again, they do have like floor plans, no real furnishing or anything, but these you can enter. There is like an interior to these buildings. Nothing too crazy, but pretty cool. Just like a central hallway and different rooms and whatnot. This one has this cool opening again because it's the top floor, the penthouse I guess you can call it. But yeah, go up here. Haven't really built the again, like some details like that, like obviously gonna wall this off, like just kind of I like to switch between like MC Edit and the actual game itself for like adding in details and kind of polishing stuff up. No real lobby yet, just kind of open right now, but that's going to change. This is going to have furnishing and all that good stuff. Same with this building. Like my buildings kind of have interiors. People always ask if my builds have interiors. I mean, they do in the sense that they have like rooms and floors and ceilings and whatnot. They're not empty shells, but they're not really interesting in terms of like furnishing and whatnot. Kind of open areas. This is just kind of like an open area. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, but this is where the pedestrian bridge connects to this main building. Kind of cool. Might build walls in here and like doorways instead of just having it open like that. But yeah, so that's this building. This new building, I guess. A lot of exterior lighting because I want to make it look as futuristic as possible. Also a lot of blank walls to kind of make it dystopic and sad and utilitarian. Still kind of more one of the more elegant buildings. This is like a government building, so more money is going to be poured into it than say like a sad residential flat like that. Same with this building. Kind of has a cool, like one of the first logos I built. Doesn't really mean anything. It's not meant to represent something. It's just kind of pure aesthetic, I guess. Kind of meant to, I guess, suggest like a foreign like logo or something. Again, this has parking spots. Not a lot of detail, but that's coming. Not a lot of lighting or like little tiny details, but this is a new building as well. Obviously, I haven't done a video on this building yet. I can go inside of it. Kind of has these huge lights that you walk into. Started adding what I'm gonna make look like security cameras and whatnot. Kind of come into this big blank wall. Kind of go up these stairs. Again, like I said, these buildings have interiors, just not well furnished ones. I'll walk up to one of the floors. this might be a floor. Yep. So again, central hallway, bats everywhere, and like separate little rooms. Like this is probably another residential room or building, or a like office building with kind of rentable office space or living space, depending on what I decide. But yeah, anyway, let's get out of here. So I'm trying to think of what else is new. Like I said, I'm putting in the above ground rail. I'm going to start on all the details of the roads and whatnot. I'm lost right now, to be completely honest. Oh, I know where I need to go. I went one too far. There we are, back in the lobby. Kind of has these cool entrances, big kind of open, like monolithic buildings. A lot of blank surfaces, kind of to make it look depressing. But the street is going to be very kind of cluttered and detailed with like little kiosks and shops and whatnot, because that's like the aesthetic of the cyberpunk world. And again, these streets feel very open, but like I said, above ground rail is gonna make it nice and claustrophobic and dystopian. And yeah, nothing really changed about this building other than the frames for advertisements on the outside. And again, nothing really changed with this building other than the entrance area and the frame for advertisements and billboards. These buildings are new, but yeah, that's what I've been working on. This is part one of the, I'll just call this like the Cyberpunk City update. I'll probably come up with a name for the city and put it in the title of this video, and then it'll be whatever name I come up with. Update part, this will be part one, and it'll go on indefinitely until I'm done this build, this city. So yeah, I hope you found this interesting. Be sure to check out the next episode or next update when it comes out. I'll let you know in the future when I'm going to start putting out actual downloads for this this world. And by the way, the only roads that have like the subway kind of system underneath are these huge main roads. These like little back roads don't have anything underneath of them. They just go straight to dirt underneath. If I wanted to be very like detail oriented, I might put like sewage, like pipes underneath of them, kind of have them run around, actually fill them with water. That would be interesting. But yep, like I said, very bare bones, not a lot of detail as of right now, but that will come in time. And yeah, I hope you found this enjoyable. This has been Colonial Puppet. Let me just get like a view of the top of this building. I'm kind of looking down on all the other buildings, trying to find a cool view. Yep, this has been Colonial Puppet. Have a good day.